What's up, you guys? It is Brad here, and welcome back to the LEGO City. In the last few updates, I've done a lot of updates recently, but in the last update, I added a brand new building right here to the city, which I'm really excited about. This is going to be a brand new apartment, and I've added that to have a little bit more of a skyline to the city, and in that update as well, I also added a brand new gym. Working on the interior of this building has made me realize that there are still a lot of interiors here in the city that I need to work on. You know, this whole apartment building is completely empty. This whole office building is completely empty. And like, guys, come on. Like, I can't just have shells of buildings. I need to have storytelling and I need to have things inside as well. In a recent reel, you guys gave me a ton of great ideas for things I should add. And I'm excited that I'm going to be implementing a lot of them in the very near future. But first off, I'm starting here with Brick's Tower. So I've already talked about a bunch of the plans that I want to add to Brick's Tower, and I'm still planning to add them, but there are just a few other quick changes I want to make at the start of this video. So for one, I was trying to think of like the logistics of the city. You know, if minifigures are hanging out in the park here, how do they get to Brick's Tower? Right now, if they're like right here, they're walking all the way around, all through the park, around the city block. I'll just fix that real quick, but around the city block and all the way over here. That's not a great minifigure experience because there's basically like a little cutoff here. So I'm like, whoa, what if I do something like similar to Vegas where I have like a staircase system that goes up into this building? And like, I'm like, that would be pretty cool. And then over here, I also just want to make this more pedestrian friendly. Like right now, it kind of feels like there's not a lot going on over here, but like over here, it's absolutely packed. So I'm like, yeah, if I work on this part, make this the entertainment district that I'm dreaming of, I think it would be really cool. And another thing too is I talked about in a few updates ago, but I don't like the bar right here because you can't even see it's there. So I'm planning to raise that one story, and I'll probably just close this off because I don't really like want anything on that floor if you can't see it anyway. So as I mentioned, the first thing I wanted to do was replace this right here and make some stairs. So very excited for these. I put them on a little bit of an angle here. I ripped out the wall and made this little archway. So basically minifigures can now walk through the park, walk up the stairs, and walk into the Brick's Tower Entertainment Complex, which obviously is going to connect, and it'll have the bridge there as well. I've just temporarily removed those because I'm doing the building, but really excited for that. So I'm going to remove these right now, and I'm going to work on the bar right here. As I mentioned, I want to move the bar up one level just because I think it's pretty cool, but you can't even see it down here. So I don't want to waste all this like cool Lego that I built, and I'm going to move it up here and just kind of get rid of that. And I'm not sure what's going to go down here. I think I just might seal it in, honestly, because if you can't see the windows anyway, might as well like remake another story or something, which would be cool. Oh, you guys know I had a terrible accident in the city. I was trying to lift out this building and it just, it fell. It fell out of my hands and it all started collapsing. Oh man, it fell into the park here. It made a ton of mess. Oh, tree. Oh god, guys, I'm not happy. I moved this part out of the way, but the rest of it just completely collapsed. I even damaged the trees, and oh, that sucks. This was totally my fault. I was being lazy. I knew I needed to remove parts of it, but I didn't. And now I'm going to be paying the price for it. Oh my gosh. Look at that. Oh, I knew I needed to do it. Ah, that's a disaster. I'm going to be picking up these studs everywhere for the longest time. Oh my gosh. I guess it could be worse. Oh no. I have been slowly but surely rebuilding from the devastation that accident caused, but it does look pretty cool. So I've gone ahead and filled this in like I mentioned because I needed a couple extra of the window pieces right here. I made a little art piece just so it wasn't as ugly, and I used like the colors from the stage building over here, which I think is cool. The pool is currently still empty, unfortunately, because like obviously all the studs are still here and I've got to reconstruct that, but I'm like, I might as well do some rearranging of the park while it's been destroyed. And I've also added the staircase now to the bar. So the bar is really cool because now instead of it having a glass wall here, it is going to be a little bit more open. Minifigures can come down into the day club area. So it's pretty cool. It definitely looks a little bit better. And this part is not as stable as it should be. I really should go and reinforce it. That would make a lot of sense, but I probably, I don't know. I know I should, but it's like, I don't want to. So we'll see if I do that or not, but I'm going to continue working on the bar in the day club area. And then I might actually tackle the interior of this just so I don't have to like take it out of the city again. It definitely was a setback that this part collapsed, but I pretty much recovered from it now. So since I destroyed the park a little bit earlier, I'm taking the time now to take advantage and do some reconstruction of it. So I had a bunch of the flowers here earlier that just lined the sidewalk, and I'm going to get rid of that and kind of do this stuff style right here, just because I think it does look a little bit cleaner and a little bit more consistent. And because I did make the park so long ago, it is a little outdated compared to what I've done over here. So happy with that. You guys can see I still have a few more plates to remove there. I'm going to keep a lot of it the way it was because I did like it. It just was looking a little too crazy. And then maybe just have a little bit more open and green space because I think that is what's needed. And as you can see, the rest of the city is still a little bit of a mess here. So the park is looking much better right here now. As you guys can see, all of the flowers are in. It definitely looks a lot less chaotic, than it did before, which I am very happy about. I think it looks pretty cool. As you guys can see it, I'll continue to add some more minifigures and things like that. I did not add a bunch of plants and trees and stuff like that back to it, just because I don't want it to be as busy as it was before. So I'm happy with how that is looking right now. And of course, it is soon time to add the Bricks Tower complex back in here, and I'm going to disassemble it this time so we don't have the exact same issue as before. But before it goes back in there, I'm going to fix up the bar, and I'm just going to work on this little area right here, because as I said, I want to make an interior here, and I might try and work on that in this update actually, just, might as well, but I've got some ideas that I want to incorporate there, so let's see if I'm able to make it happen. So I ended up doing some work under here of the casino, which I'm really excited about. So as I mentioned, I kind of wanted this to be like a Fremont Street in Las Vegas, so I built a stage right there, and I've got just a bunch of sidewalks all populated with minifigures. I'm still not entirely sure what I want to put on the inside here because I just don't know what this space is going to be used for, but in the meantime, I did put these railings in just so minifigures don't fall from the staircase, because now there's going to be a lot more minifigures in here than we normally expect. Just finished doing the bar up here, which I'm really excited about. So I've continued the bar up here to the day club, so it's like a 2-story club right now. I don't know why I didn't do this in the original model, but I had all white floors up here, but now I've got the checkered pattern, which I think looks much better, and I've carried it down the stairs, and I think it looks really, really cool. So I'm happy with that. I add the artwork layer like I mentioned, and you guys can see the pool studs have gone back in as well, and we've got the stairs here leading up. So it's obviously now a pretty busy day club, which I'm excited about, so I can't wait to see what it looks like in the city. And I've also added a bunch of leaves and stuff like that just to the back of the masonry, just to kind of give it a nice little look and just to make it look cool in the city. So now I'm a little stressed because I'm going to be tasked with putting it back over here in the city. And obviously a couple minutes ago in this video when I took it out of the city, it was not successful. So I'm hoping for the best this time. I probably should film this. I definitely should have filmed the last time because it happened in slow motion and it would have made a great video. Awesome, Bricks Tower made it back into the city with no issues whatsoever. It's all in place. The rooftop patio is back on here. The staircase even got added. I removed all of that to transport it in. So very, very happy with that. I love how this is looking. I think it looks really cool here in the city. Also, I've got to add this staircase, and I don't really remember how I fit it in. I know the angle on the staircase kind of looks a little wacky, especially from up here, but I really like how it looks. I'm actually very excited to populate it with some minifigures, and I'm just excited that it's better connected to the rest of the city right now because, as I said earlier, I felt like it was a little bit disconnected. I felt if a minifigure was in the park or the park was just almost separate, if there was only one entrance into the park, it's just like, what good is this park in the city? So now I'm excited that there's a few more ways in and out of it, and can't wait to kind of incorporate it just a little bit more, but I'm very happy. I originally wasn't intending to redo the park in this update, but when the building collapsed on it, I was kind of left with no other choice. So I'm excited with the changes that I have made, and I think I just need a lot more minifigures here in it to make it look just a little bit better, but I'm excited for the updates that have just been made to the Bricks Tower right now. It looks a little bit better, and now of course that I moved up the bar, I'm actually just missing one floor of space that I need here, and I know exactly what I want to do with it. So I really don't actually have any floors unaccounted for in the Bricks Tower complex right now, so I should eventually go ahead and do it. I might work on the top one a little bit later in this update, but we're gonna have to see. I've also realized here in the city how much open space I've started building, lots of rooftop patios, a bunch of things that are just like buildings that are completely open, like even the clubhouse, the rooftop over here. So I guess it's safe to say that this is no longer maybe a Canadian city, or maybe it's a Canadian city just very far on the west coast, because it is certainly not on the east coast anymore. I guess I kind of already foreshadowed that with having waterfront and more like a beach. I know Toronto has it, but it's just not the same. But yeah, having all this open patio space is definitely not conducive to snow. So I guess we're gonna have to go with a west coast city. Oops, update. I realized I don't think I'm done with the day club yet, because like over here I'm like, what is all this wasted space going to be on the roof? And then I was like, what if I have another staircase coming from the bar and making this like a separate lounge area? And now that I've seen it, I can't unsee it. So that's what I'm gonna have to do. So this is what I've gone ahead and done with the second rooftop right here coming off the club. So you guys can see the stairs come all the way down here, and this is like a VIP section. So it's a little bit more exclusive. So I did not continue with the checkered pattern. I wanted it to look a little different. I kind of tried to mimic it off of the stage rooftop bar right here, because as you can see, I've added a bunch of white couches and chairs. I've also added a couple tables here as well, and a bunch of plants all the way around. And I think like the goal with that was because I'm like, this is like a little bit of a VIP spot. You know, I don't want people on the Ferris wheel to be able to see what's going on, and I want even the people on the rooftop to have a little bit of a block view. You know, this is where like the celebrities and everybody are going to go when they're here at the entertainment complex. Like, this is going to be a bustling area of the city, so I wanted them to have a little bit of an escape. You know, they're not with everybody else from the club. So happy with how that's looking. And as I said earlier, I think when I start adding minifigures, it's going to look even better. So I've tidied up this area of the city now. It looks so much better with all my bins and stuff like that out of the way. I've started putting a few minifigures down. As you can see, I've got one climbing the stairs right here, which I'm excited about. And another thing I added that I forgot about was a subway station. So originally the subway station was here, but I guess now it's theoretically inside the building, but I wanted another one on the exterior. So I've gone ahead and added one there, and it is an exact duplicate of the ones on the other side of the city. So I'll have to go ahead and add some minifigures and stuff like that as well. A couple people in some last updates have made some really good suggestions saying that I need to make some more offices here in the city. And they're totally right. I do have a lot of businesses, but like, I don't have an office building where just like random city workers answer emails all day. So I figured what better place to do that than take the top 3 stories of this tall building right here and make it cubicles where minifigures, hopes, and dreams go to die. I've got 3 identical stories right here, and I'm going to make 2 of them identical, and then this one's going to be the executive suite, so it's going to be much nicer. So I think this is the design that I'm going to go for with the desks. I wanted to do all of them like this, but unfortunately I just couldn't make it work with the configuration I had. But this is going to get a lot of office spots in there, and it'll have room for some minifigures on some chairs. You can see I was just playing around with how this one would go, and I want to litter each of the desks with like paperwork and computers and coffee cups and pretty much everything you'd expect to find in an office. So I did add these filing cabinets underneath here, and you can see that this desk will sit 2 people, and I thought about doing a divider or something like that, but I just, again, wasn't really entirely sure how I would be able to make it work. So the office furniture is going exactly how I want it to go. I've been able to do some fun little decorations here. I've got the monitor actually mounted. You can see there's a keyboard. This one has some flowers and a coffee cup. This one here has a coffee cup and some letters, and this one here, I've still got to work on that because I want to add some flowers, but it's got coffee cup, letters, and I think I can add a couple more like minifigure accessories to make it look pretty cool. And you guys can see here, I do have the chairs as well. So I think once this is in the building, it's going to look really cool on each floor. And as I said, I'm going to do 2 floors pretty much identical. So I don't know why I haven't done them yet, but I'm going to do 2 floors identical. And then the third one is going to be up for interpretation. And this is kind of fun. I even left the drawer open right here just to kind of stimulate a really messy work environment. There we go. The office is installed right here. I think that looks really fun. So I can't wait to add that into the city and of course duplicate it on this floor right here. And there we go. 2 floors of office space is now fully complete. I'm very excited to get these here in the Lego City in the newly minted office tower, I guess. There, I think that looks good. And of course, until I saw those comments saying that I was missing, you know, an office tower in my Lego City, I never really considered it. And it is kind of hard to see it in there just because it is a little bit dark, and it's going to be worse because the signs are there. So maybe I'll even get rid of the signs because I don't necessarily need those, but it might be cool to keep them. It might not. I'll have to see when I add the next floor. Sweet. Now I've gone ahead and built a CEO's office right here as well. This one is quite a bit bigger, or it's the whole floor. It's the same size, I guess. But this one has a little conference table in it with 6 seats, and then the CEO's desk, which is a bit bigger. It's got like a fruit bowl, flowers, and a bunch of letters and stuff like that. And I think that will look quite nice up here. So I like the design of that, and I just think it looks obviously a little bit different than these floors right here. And as you guys can see, I've gone ahead and removed the signs here as well. So I'm going to go ahead and install this one. What company is this for? I have no idea, but I like it, and I'm happy to be adding an office building to the Lego City. There we go. Now the office building is back in place right there. It's only got 1 empty story right now. These ones I made many years ago. This was an Apple store. This is a radio station. This was a dentist office, and I haven't opened these floors in years. Like it's actually been a really long time, and I don't know what this one was supposed to be down here, but it is empty. And now the top 3, I think I added 2 or 3 of them a few city updates ago. It's been pretty recent since it's been this tall, but you guys can see now they are an office building, and they will have to get minifigures and stuff added to them in the future. But minifigures in general is going to be a future problem here in the Lego City because there's just not enough of them, because this down here is all that I have left to add to the city, so I will have to make a bunch more in the future. And again, that'll be in a whole separate city update because I have a lot to do. And now that the office building is complete, and of course the expansion of Bricks Tower has occurred, that brings us to the end of this Lego City update. So a lot has happened here in this video, and although it may not look like a lot has happened because I didn't add new buildings or anything like that, and the city relatively looks the same, everything I worked on here today is important for the city. Obviously, a lot was changed over here, even though it doesn't necessarily look like it at first glance, but even just adding new interiors to buildings, even though you may not see them, overall just contributes to positive growth here in the city, because if every building was just an empty, ugly shell, that would be almost like a fake city. But I want to have a real city with real minifigures, and although I still have a long ways to go before all the interiors of all these buildings are done and there's storytelling everywhere, I am definitely on the right track. So anyway, you guys, thank you so much for watching today's video. Of course, if you did enjoy, please don't forget to leave a like, comment, and of course subscribe. Stay tuned because I've got lots more big changes coming in the Lego City in the next couple months and over the next few city updates, so I'm very excited to show you guys. Anyway, thanks again for watching, and I will see you all here in the next video.